Noah. Well, 2 months since Cyclosporiasis began spreading across the United States, nearly 7,000 cases have now been confirmed, including some in Arkansas. 5 News reporter Claire Everbach has a closer look at the outbreak and what health officials say could be behind it.
This map behind me is from the CDC. It shows more specifically where those cases are happening across the United States. Cyclosporiasis is currently not present in every state, but it is present in Arkansas and Oklahoma. According to the Arkansas Department of Health, the state has confirmed 14 cases so far. Oklahoma is slightly higher at 11 to 30 cases compared to other states that are darker blue and higher like Michigan and New York. But of course, this isn't necessarily all of the cases that are present. There could be cases that are unconfirmed or people that are undiagnosed. According to the CDC, people become infected after ingesting the parasite, which affects the small intestine. Symptoms usually appear about a week later and can last for weeks or even months if left untreated. Early symptoms include stomach pain, nausea, vomiting, and headaches. The Department of Health says investigations are still underway to determine what exactly is causing this year's outbreak. However, past outbreaks have often been linked to contaminated fresh produce, including certain fruits and vegetables. That's why doctors encourage residents to take extra precaution when preparing produce for consumption.
You may have to use a small vegetable brush to really, scrub it so that you can scrub that parasite off. When you're cooking your vegetables and fruit, make sure that you're able to achieve a temperature of about 158 degrees.
If you start experiencing symptoms, Dr. Porter says the most important thing to do is stay hydrated and consult with your medical provider before taking any medication. If you have a weakened immune system, seek medical care as soon as possible. Claire Everbach, 5 News.
Oklahoma farmers say while the source remains unknown, shopping local could help. They say one benefit of shopping close to home is knowing who grew the food and having the chance to ask questions about how it was produced.
Our orders were up, so I'm suspecting a lot of people are.
We had an issue with that soundbite there, but farmers say the best thing they can do right now is to follow safe growing practices every day, such as having well water tested for food safety, washing produce, and using an organic sanitizer. Well, amid the outbreak, restaurants are also being urged to take extra steps to keep food parasite free. One Little Rock restaurant owner says they start with extra washing of their produce. He says following strict health practices like switching out cutting boards and knives helps reduce germs and foodborne illnesses. He also says staff are increasing their hand washing, and he's working with his food suppliers to make sure the products they received are safe.
They have something called a cold chain verification process, which basically they keep the temperatures of the product all the way through to make sure that there's never any lapse.
He and his staff are monitoring the health safety alerts daily. And he says they also do have brushes on hand to better clean their produce. In continuing coverage, Arkoma's police chief and assistant chief are no longer with the department after reaching what the chief says was a mutual agreement with the mayor to leave. Chief Michael Ivey and Assistant Chief Mallory Speaks have been on leave since June 23rd as the city investigated claims against them. We still don't know what those claims are. The Arkoma Board of Trustees was scheduled to meet at noon Wednesday to consider the agreement, but the meeting was canceled due to no quorum. Chief Ivey told us he and Speaks signed their agreements, and it's now in the hands of the board.
It's a mutually agreed upon decision that myself and my assistant chief will resign, and that's as far as I'm willing to go until they vote on it.
Ford declined an interview or a statement, but told 5 News he hopes the board can take up the agreement within the next week. Well, it's been more than a week since a 16-year-old was killed in a shooting in Fort Smith, and police are still searching for a suspect. Now, the second suspect arrested in Oklahoma last week appeared in court Wednesday. Donnie Warner is facing first-degree murder charges. He did not enter a plea, and he is expected back in court next week. The other suspect, Jasmine Johnston, is wanted on first-degree murder and aggravated robbery charges. Police say she is considered armed and dangerous. The former band director at Chaffin Middle School and Southside High School in Fort Smith was sentenced after pleading guilty to second-degree sexual assault. James Palmer was arrested in March after police say they got a tip that he was having an inappropriate relationship with a student. Palmer and his wife were both fired during a Board of Education meeting. Palmer will serve 10 years in prison. Well, meanwhile, the University of Arkansas is countersuing a former professor who filed a federal lawsuit against the school. Dr. Najah Baptist was removed from his role as African American Studies Director, which he claims was retaliation. Baptist's lawsuit claims the College of Arts and Sciences dean made discriminatory comments to him, and an investigation into a work-related trip violated his rights. The university says the investigation was into alleged misspending of university funding. The lawsuit says an audit found the school lost more than $48,000. Arkansas State Police say ease off the gas. ASP just launched a campaign, Speeding Slows You Down, that goes through the end of the month. And it comes as ASP says fatal crashes are actually down this year.
You know, just slowing down and giving yourself more time to react to the traffic in front of you. Speeding is not going to get you somewhere that much faster. If you go back and look, if you time yourself, you're really not getting there any faster. So go ahead and slow down.
Drivers can expect to see more troopers on the road, of course, during that campaign.